The night sky over central Israel flashed with fire and explosions as another wave of Iranian missiles streaked across the region. Emergency sirens echoed across cities, forcing millions of residents to rush toward shelters while air defense systems attempted to intercept the incoming threats. At one impact site, firefighters and emergency crews moved quickly to contain scattered flames. Firefighters sprayed water onto burning patches on rooftops and across the ground while investigators tried to determine the exact nature of the debris. You can see the first responders here. They said they put out most of the fires, but there's still little fires that they're trying to get. Despite the dramatic scene, officials said the strike had not caused immediate casualties. So far, no reports of casualties, but the incident was only one in a series of attacks that struck Israel over the course of the night. Several missile barrages were launched toward the country on Friday evening, highlighting how rapidly the confrontation between Iran and Israel has intensified. The escalation is unfolding as Israel and the United States continue their military campaign against Iranian targets, while Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon have also stepped up rocket attacks against Israel. This is one of several strikes that have come into central Israel on Friday evening. The conflict shows no clear sign of slowing. There is no sign so far that any of this is slowing. For civilians living in Israel, the constant blare of sirens has become part of daily life. Overnight alerts forced residents across large parts of the country into shelters as Iranian ballistic missiles were detected heading toward Israeli territory. The barrage marked another wave of attacks launched after midnight. Sirens rang out across southern Israel, the Jerusalem region, and central parts of the country as air defense systems attempted to intercept incoming missiles. According to initial assessments by the Israeli military, a relatively small number of missiles were launched during that specific wave. Most of them were intercepted by defense systems or landed in open areas without causing major damage. Still, the alarms created widespread disruption. Families rushed into reinforced rooms and public shelters while emergency teams prepared for possible impacts. Additional warnings were triggered near Beersheba after Israeli early warning systems detected another launch toward southern Israel. Online accounts aligned with Iran claimed that one missile struck Nevatim Air Base, a key installation used by the Israeli armed forces. However, those claims were not supported by evidence, and Israeli authorities did not confirm any such strike. Meanwhile, investigators began examining several impact sites in central Israel, including areas near Tel Aviv. One key question facing military analysts was whether a missile used in the attack carried a cluster munition warhead. Cluster warheads disperse multiple smaller submunitions over a wide area. Instead of a single explosion, the weapon spread smaller explosive charges across several locations, increasing the potential for damage. Emergency responders reported that suspected missile fragments or cluster submunitions ignited a fire on the roof of a building in the town of Shoham. Debris from the attack also damaged a highway and several vehicles in the city of Rishon LeZion. Videos circulating online appeared to show large flames and thick smoke rising from one of the impact sites shortly after the strike. Although the footage has not been independently verified, the pattern of scattered impacts across multiple locations is consistent with the type of damage produced by cluster munitions. Authorities said the missile strike left damage at several locations across central Israel, but there were no immediate reports of injuries. Emergency teams moved quickly to secure the sites while investigators assessed the debris. The attack represented another stage in Iran's continuing missile campaign against Israel. Iran has launched another missile strike towards central Israel, with initial military assessments suggesting the ballistic missile carried a cluster bomb warhead. The barrage also triggered air raid sirens across multiple cities late in the evening. According to preliminary assessments based on footage and impact patterns, the missile may have dispersed several smaller explosives across the area. Cluster warheads are particularly dangerous because they scatter submunitions over wide zones, sometimes causing several simultaneous impacts. Emergency responders documented damage in at least 3 locations across central Israel. One strike sparked a fire on the roof of a residential building in Shoham. Another impact left a crater on a highway. Vehicles were damaged in Rishon LeZion after debris struck the area. Authorities said the scattered impact pattern aligned with what would typically be expected from a cluster munition strike. Despite the damage, emergency services confirmed that no serious injuries were reported from those particular impacts. Rescue teams arrived rapidly at the affected areas and secured the sites while firefighters extinguished the remaining flames. The strike marked another wave in a sequence of missile attacks launched toward Israel during the night. While central Israel dealt with scattered damage, another missile strike caused serious destruction in the northern town of Zarzir. The attack occurred shortly before 2:30 in the morning, waking residents with the thunderous sound of missiles cutting through the sky. Israeli air defense systems attempted to intercept the incoming projectiles, but at least one missile struck a residential area. 7 firefighting teams were immediately dispatched to the scene after the missile hit a house and triggered a fire. The blast damaged nearby homes and scattered debris across surrounding streets. Emergency services reported that dozens of residents were injured during the attack, most of them suffering minor wounds caused by shattered glass and debris. Israel's ambulance service reported that nearly 60 people were hurt in the overnight missile barrage. One woman in her 30s was moderately injured after being struck by shrapnel in the back. She was transported to Rama Medical Center in Haifa for treatment. Other victims with lighter injuries were taken to hospitals in Afula and Nazareth. Footage released by news agencies showed extensive damage to houses and vehicles, along with a large crater where the missile struck the ground. Local officials described the destruction as severe. Heavy damage was recorded at the site, and one of the houses was completely destroyed. Zarzir lies roughly 100 kilometers north of Jerusalem, near Israel's border with Lebanon. Residents described the terrifying moment when the missile exploded in their neighborhood. Missiles exploded on the houses. Half of our houses were damaged. One resident recalled narrowly escaping the blast while leaving a relative's home. I was leaving my uncle's house in a vehicle when the missile hit this house and the one below. I felt the roof of the vehicle fall on me. Another witness described the devastation inside their home. I was at home. Everything in the house fell apart. Everything was destroyed. The Israeli military said it is investigating the circumstances surrounding the missile strike in Zarzir. Home front command units, along with both regular and reserve forces, were deployed to the impact site. Military teams are working alongside emergency responders to clear debris, secure damaged buildings, and assess the situation. The strike occurred during a night filled with repeated alerts in northern Israel after the military detected multiple missile launches from Iran. At the same time, sirens also sounded across northern communities due to rocket fire from Lebanon. Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militia based in Lebanon, has also intensified its attacks against Israel. According to Israeli officials, Hezbollah launched more than 200 rockets during the same period as the Iranian missile barrage. The coordinated attacks from both Iran and Hezbollah have placed Israel's defensive systems under heavy pressure. Meanwhile, additional sirens sounded in Israel's southernmost city of Eilat following the launch of another Iranian ballistic missile. Initial military assessments suggested the missile was intercepted before reaching its target, and no injuries were reported. While Iran continued its missile campaign, Israel responded with extensive airstrikes inside Iranian territory. Explosions were reported in Tehran and the nearby city of Barrage. The Israeli military said it carried out several waves of strikes targeting Iranian military infrastructure in Tehran, Shiraz, and Avaz. Among the targets was an underground ballistic missile manufacturing and storage facility in Shiraz. According to Israeli officials, the facility was used by Iran to produce and store missiles intended for attacks against Israel. Airstrikes also targeted several headquarters used by Iranian security forces. In Avaz, Israeli forces struck facilities linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps ground forces as well as internal security units. Officials said dozens of Iranian soldiers were operating at the headquarters